Somebody has to reach out to those brothers. And all brothers together have the ability to talk to certain other brothers.
Okay.
And so we have to, not just that, we have to deal with the financial end. We have to support our school financially. We have to be able to have the best math teacher come to Glenn or to Minor Elementary School.
Right.
And if $7,000 more a year is the difference between them going to Vestavia and coming to Minor, we need to
be
point out.
Jay and then Marco.
You know, we good to get a six-pack.
Just to add to what Washington just mentioned, a lot of that galvanizing of black men has to come from the leadership in the community.
Tell us what your role is.
Well, actually, I serve as councilman of District 7 here in the city of Birmingham. And as you all know, I have a passion for education, a passion for our young people, and trying to make a difference in their lives. Now, we have kicked off, through my invitation to the White House, by Joshua Dubois and the Obama administration, a national mentoring initiative. So there is a mechanism in place at City Hall that we can engage, and we have relationships with our 7 high schools in Birmingham, with my brother Muhammad, my frat brother here, that I want to get men involved in and go into these schools. And it's not only from a mentoring perspective, but what we also have to do is empower the young people. And we can't just tell the young people what to do. We got to make the young people a part of correcting the process in their peer groups. And we've seen the difference made in the past year. I'd love to engage some of the school board in this process, but we have a program called Pen or Pencil. Pen stands for penitentiary, pencil stands for education.
I'm gonna cut you there. With those things being so important, because those are on my car also.
Okay.
Yeah, I can't be doing it. You have violence, you have jail, you have hell. So as you take those things down and you look at the black man and you put those things there, you have violence, you have jail, you have hell. What's missing from making a man? What's missing?
Well, one, morals and foundation.
Okay.
I'd say family. What you call just the way to go back to morals. And when he was saying about that, you need to find what we can do with all these men. I disagree, because I honestly think it's a lost cause when you get to an age where you're 21 or above. I think the key is going back to the education part and trying to save the children before they get to that mentality where you might say 1 out of 100, but when you're dealing with children, you might say 50 out of 100.
Okay. Jack?
As Marco just mentioned, and I went down the street here, I know we're Natural Elements in District 8, but in Central Park, I sat down with the gang members, the park boys, and one of them, I said, what do y'all want to do? The first answer I got was, Mr. Robeson, I need a job. I need a job to support my family, my mama and them. So, that told me then it's economics. And as a political leader in this community, we have to do things to help create jobs. You know, whoever the mayor is, whoever the council is, we got to figure out ways to put jobs for our black men and women in this community. And when if we get 5 black millionaires in this city, and that money drizzles down into our community, it will make a difference. It will create those opportunities for education, give them $7,000 more in Glen Iris. And so I'm not going to preach it long, but I think that's very important. But economics is a big issue right now in our community.
Miss Pretty, Black, then Mr. Wash.
That's what I was going to say. As a former educator dealing with young black men in public schools, a lot of it comes from, there is no family structure, but there definitely isn't money, and that is why our black men are going towards being endangered, because you don't have, you see your mother struggling, especially in a single parent home, you're already in the hood, the projects, the streets are what's going to tell you you can get it faster here than going to McDonald's, this, and I'm not saying that that's, you know, the norm for most, but from seeing it from an educator, former teacher, it's hard to teach, give them the things that they need to go to college, this, that, and that, when they know mama's struggling, working 4 or 5 jobs, and I got young brothers and sisters to eat. I can go get it from Yo Blow, and he can make it happen quicker than mama bringing it in, this, that, and that.
Okay, Black.
I mean, I agree with Marco as well as councilman here. Like, you need to get young men early. They have all these different programs and in place for young girls and grooming them to be young women. Girls ain't Girl Scouts. You see more Girl Scouts get up into the high ranks than you do Boy Scouts. I don't know if Boy Scouts don't exist in the black community or not, but if it doesn't, get a Boys Inc. Do something to raise black young men to be something else for somebody else to want them, or to show them how to manage their money once they do get the money, not to go buy rims, get tint on your car. That's materialistic.
Say it then me.
I was next.
Oh,
Me too.
I'm sorry. You been talking the whole time. Go ahead.
So go to say it. I have.
Okay, say it.
Just a lot of points. Like one thing with the education that we got to realize is get your kids in before quit waiting to Labor Day to register your kids for school. A lot of schools are losing out on dollars to support them simply because we keeping them at home because my mama didn't ever make me go to school for Labor Day, so I'm gonna keep my kids out. So when the schools have to turn in numbers and the state funds these schools based on the numbers. So when you have these low numbers and then all of a sudden 200 kids come into school and we talking about, well, why the schools ain't got enough supplies or food or something like this, because your kids weren't accounted for because you didn't get them in there. But I think we need to us as black men need to do a better job of getting ourselves out there. Successful black men that have come through the trenches and gone through what a lot of these people have gone through to say, listen, this is my success story. I didn't do it the wrong way. I went, or I had this and this and that. Just kind of make it more personalized. That's what's missing with a lot of black men. They don't have other black men telling them, you can do it, I did it, I came from the same shoes. I had a father that instilled that in me, that always pushed me
Brother
forward.
Shimon?
Well, that's the reason for calling our brothers, because
Okay.
everybody is not in school. Some people have left. I don't believe in necessarily a lost cause, because I believe in the redemption business. Because you got most of our people out here who maybe have dropped out, didn't do well in school, but they're not in the places that they should be. So we got to go and call them to order first. Because you got to talk about family, you got to talk about economics, you got to talk about all these things, but somebody has to call them to order.
Right.
So-
So this will be the hub for the brothers.
Correct.
You come here, we'll dispatch this way.
Yeah.
Come back here, get what you need. Go back out, do this. Come back in, get what you need. Go
And
back to school.
it's to work in conjunction with everybody, no competition.
Okay.
We don't care what your belief system is. We don't care what you believe in, where you went to school, none of that. We
Okay.
calling everybody.
All right.
Go ahead.
Well, I mean, I want to piggyback on what you were saying about the kids coming from these homes. You say you're trying to get it faster. You got sister and brother. Well, we have to look at who created this situation. This person has 3 or 4 children they have to support. That has to stop, number one.
Okay.
You got to stop making situations that you can't handle. If you can't support this, then you shouldn't have that.
True.
So
Speaking of people
that-
having children,
right,
they
you
can't take
can't
care
take care of.
Right.
I mean, that right there would solve one big problem altogether. And as far as he's saying is, the kids not in school, they already know this. They keep this every year. You have to keep telling the same person saying every year. The child been in school for 6 years. Why you have to keep telling you the same thing
The
over and
trick
over
is
again?
in, though.
KJ.
The trick is in.
One thing we really haven't discussed, but I think as far as black men need is first off God. There's a lot of black men don't come
Without
in
question.
the church and they don't have God in their life to have an example. Because first off, before a black man can teach you anything, you should be able to have what the Lord has for you and be able to go through that. So that's one thing I think we need.
Very well.
I think every black man needs the lottery. I'm just being honest. I'm gonna tell you why now, y'all. Y'all looking at me crazy.
I can say
I'm gonna tell you why. Because of education. Without education, if you don't follow your education, then you limiting yourself already. So we in situations right now where we know a lot of our children are not going to college.
But you have
We
to
can't
understand,
afford
though,
it.
Brother,
that same situation in Atlanta. You got these teachers that are lying and changing test scores. They're getting all this money, but they were lying. They've been doing it for years. But we don't have the lottery here. But so we have. If we're gonna do that, we have got to put those processes and things
Brother
in line
Watch,
so
and
they
then
don't
on the
happen.
contact information for you all.
All through the Bible, or the Quran, or any book of monotheistic religion that I've read about, God hold men responsible for the conditions of their people. God hold men responsible for the conditions of their people. It's a responsibility I take very seriously. In my life, I have started, fallen, failed, got up, fallen, got up. And I'll probably fall again, but I'm gonna get up again. But I've tried to be about the business of empowering black folk and setting an example where a brother next to me will say, damn, that's what I ought to be doing. We ought to be trying to raise all our people. I feel like that's our responsibility. And until we as black men accept that, God holds us responsible for the conditions of our people. And when we realize that, then we know that if we take a step, he'll help us. It's like when Moses went to the children of Israel, and they were living in the greatest society of their day. Egypt then was the New York and the Paris of that day. Then Moses went to him and he said, God wants us to leave here. And they fell out laughing. They said, you crazy. And they said, go where? He said, out in the desert. He said, in the desert? That's crazy. What are we going to eat? He said, God will feed us from heaven.
I'm going to cut you off right there, preacher. Your contact information, calling our brothers.
Well, you can reach us mainly by 205-413-7591.
Okay.
It's 205-413-7591.
What's our email? Don't we have a email?
Calling All Brothers at Gmail and a Twitter, right?
Right.
All right.
Calling All Brothers at gmail.net.com and on Twitter.
Okay. Cool. Do you tweet?
Me?
Mm-hmm.
I can file to my own power.
We also have Councilor Jay Robertson, as you know, in the building with us. Counselor representing a part of Birmingham, a black part of Birmingham, District 8. Tell me what that covers again, because it's changed. Seven.
You look just like what, Dodo?
Read me up, I know. District 7.
Actually, part Central Park, southwestern area of Birmingham, and I have 19 total neighborhoods. But I want to appreciate everyone for their dialogue, and we have a Facebook page called the Birmingham Movement. You can go to thebirminghammovement.com as it relates to dealing with the children and getting involved, and also call my office anytime, as I'm here to serve the people in the city of Birmingham. So we thank you for the opportunity.
Indeed.
And let's keep looking up as we move forward with this process.
Will do. So tell me this, with you sitting in and being a part of this conversation, black men in your district, you name the southwest part of Birmingham, which we know is typically the blackest, some of the blackest areas. What are some of the issues you see as far as black families and black men are concerned?
Well, as far as black men, there's a large sense of crime. I think there's a need for black men and soldiers like we have here to get involved in the process to impact our community.
Amen.
We have a lot of blight in the community. As I surveyed 3,000 Birmingham City School students, the number one answer that came back was, we want clean communities. So if we want clean communities, we have to get men, black men and women, to clean it up and take pride in their community.
Right.
I call your council member 24/7. Why is this not knocked down? Why is this not cut? Let's take pride in our own community. So I think there's one concern there, and I will say this, definitely in the southwestern portion of Birmingham, we need economic development. It's good to have this great indoor track and field facility and auditorium right here in the southwest portion of Birmingham, but we also need thriving businesses. We need retail. We need grocery stores. We're in a food desert right now to help support. So those are probably the three major things I'm dealing with. But at the end of the day, as I'm a part, he mentioned Moses. It was Joshua and Caleb that led them to the land, the promised land of milk and honey. And this is Joshua's generation sitting here on this show today. So it's up to this generation to reach back to the young. You know.
Go down, Moses.
Thank you. We got it.
It's this generation, it's a school board that needs to step forth and lead now. Brother Muhammad, all these brothers, Marco here, that needs to step forth, and these young ladies to lead to make a difference in this community.
Let me tell you something. The repository of our accumulated knowledge is in our old people. I was with Huey P. Newton. I marched with Martin, but I joined the Black Panther Party. Then after that, I was with the Citizens Coalition. Every progressive movement that has taken place in my lifetime, I have been a part of. And I think every brother,
I appreciate that,
brother needs to be a part of.
I appreciate that, and thank you for what you did in fighting that
No,
struggle.
it ain't over.
It ain't over. But at the same time, I think our limitations in Birmingham has been due to leadership staying in the same position for so long. And then for the first time, these young people are seeing integration of young leadership in this city. And I think that's suppressed our progress.
I will also add this, there's no age limit to success. If we are looking at an overall picture of our topic tonight, black males, this didn't just start with the Joshua generation. This went way back to when Moses, for real, the real Moses was around. I'm sure it went back to men that didn't get up with their families and go to church. Men
It's
that
a
stayed
classic
home.
historical struggle.
Men that stayed on the couch while their wives took the kids to church. Men that stayed on the couch while women took their kids to school and did homework at night.
Men
that
kids scattered around everywhere.
Right, men with kids everywhere that don't even know the man. Right. So I mean, this goes way back. So the struggle is continuous, and we need people like this to continue to bridge the gap to people like that.
That's true.
We do need that. Yes, sir.
The struggle between the young and the old is a nature struggle. It is a natural thing.
It's in the
He
Bible,
should
too.
challenge me.
I'm sure it's in the Quran,
He should
too.
challenge me,
But
and I
that's
should make him earn his place. I have black folks tell me, y'all need to move over and make room at the table for young folk. Well, let me tell you something about the table. Nobody at the table did anybody make room for. You fight your way to the table. Ain't nobody gonna give you nothing. So the
And that's what we
struggle,
doing.
the struggle
That's what we
between the
doing.
old and the young is universal and historic.
I asked
And-
you this,
and I
is
embrace
your
it.
hand out like this? Your hand is out like this to pull us. Is your hand out like this to grab? Are we willing to do that to make a difference in our community?
Yeah, it is.
So,
See
as
how
long as
strong
you're willing to do that, I need
That's
y'all
even strong.
hold that while I talk. While I have this bun going on right here, I'm going to
That's
share my woology.
Okay.
My forefathers, grandfathers, my father, my brother, my man are all black men. If black men step up and unite, I'm quite sure that we can make a difference not only in our community and in Birmingham, but all over the world. This is not just a Birmingham issue. It can't be because it's black men everywhere. So calling our brothers, well, how far are you calling?
To the ends of the earth.
Thank you so much. Thank you for tuning in. Make sure you catch our next episode. Not sure what it'll be yet, but when you get it, you'll love it. Thank you all so much. School of Hip Hop, your local Lady Wu, and the School Board.